Alright, I'm going to go over some of the basic HTML elements of the theme. So let's go ahead and start off by opening up the index.html file, and we'll play around with that. So I've got that open, and the first thing I want to go over is the logo, and it's pretty easy. You just scroll down until you find the logo. So you'll just type in your URL there, and then the file is logo.png, and inside of our files we have a logo.psd file, and you can use that one or you don't necessarily need to, but just save your image as logo.png and it'll automatically go onto all of the pages. There's no need to change the file name, just overwrite the image. Alright, so the next thing I want to go over is the 4 types of navigation styles. There's 2 light versions and 2 dark versions. Those are very easy. So the first thing we're going to want to do is scroll down to the navigation, and you'll see it right here in a nav box. And so all we need to do is change the containing div name. So for instance, let's change it to the dark version. All we do is change the ID. Let's go ahead and save that, and then we'll refresh our page. Now we're into the dark one. Then let's do the wide version of the light. We just change that, and we've got it. So it's really easy to change all 4 different styles, and they're listed in the documentation. It's just basically narrow, wide, and then dark at the end of each of them. Alright, so the next thing I want to go over is how to mark a navigation item as selected. And as you notice under home, the home button is selected, or if we're under about, the about is selected. It's very simple. You go ahead and pop open the same area we were editing, and you'll see this current menu item class. And so for instance, let's go ahead and take that out, and then you'll notice that now none of the items show as selected. You can do that as well. It's just kind of personal preference. But if you want, let's say, the styles one selected, we'll add that class current menu item to styles. Now our styles will show as selected. So it's just kind of a cool little thing. You just add the class to whatever menu you want to show up as slightly darker than the rest. And the last thing I want to go over are the column layouts, and they're all demoed on the full width and the sidebar pages, and they're created the same way. You don't need to have a different, naming convention or anything like that. They're the same. So let's go ahead and pop open the full width page and just dive in. So under HTML files, we'll go down full width. So we open that up, and if we scroll down, you'll see the first columns, and there's 2 columns right here. Sorry, I need to scroll up a little bit. Yeah, okay. So we have our 2 columns right there, and basically all you need to know about with these columns are that at the end of the second column, I'm going to go ahead and add a line break here to make it a little easier to see. So the last column needs to have this div ID or div class of last column added to it. So if you don't have that, it won't line up correctly. So you just add in last column. And then the last thing you need to know about is at the bottom, or after you have your 2 columns, you need to add a clear both, and that's just clearing out the styling. So for instance, let's go to the 4 column example, and that'll make more sense. So we'll have grid 4 column each way times 4, and then this last column will have the class last column added to it, and then after all 4 of these at the end, there's 1 clear both. So I'll show you that in the code real quick. Let's go ahead and find the grid 4 columns. So it starts here. Now it starts here. Yeah, it's the last one of the one before. Okay, so here's the 4 that we're seeing right here that I was